President Donald Trump recently asked the Department of Defense to look into planning a parade to honor our nation's military. Needless to say, anti-Trump, anti-military liberals are throwing a fit over the request. One liberal, however, is taking his temper tantrum to another level. What he's suggesting could actually be dangerous. That liberal is former Green Party Senate candidate and anti-war activist Arnold Menconi. Source: liberals are already planning on standing in front of tanks if military parade happens by IJR, in a live video on Facebook, which has since been taken down. Menconi called for his supporters to join in him laying down in front of the tanks that would be displayed in Trump's military parade. Trending: millennial uses hunting trap to one-up the Tide Pod challenge. The idea is to mimic the famous picture of Tank Man, who stood in front of the tanks in Tiananmen Square. The reason I'm making this live stream and video is a call to action. This is becoming an authoritarian state. We need a grassroots effort today, Menconi said. He continued, "What I want people to do is to commit, just like I will, that we would go to Washington, D.C., if such a crazy, insane act occurred, and we would lay down in front of the tanks, just like the heroes and the courageous students did in China in 1989. Do you think these people will follow through with their insane plan? Yes, no, _continue with Facebook, or, completing this poll entitles you to Conservative Tribune News updates free of charge. You may opt out at any time. You also agreed to our privacy policy in terms of use. You're logged into Facebook. Click here to log out. The absolute idiocy of that comparison aside, given that the tanks used in the Tiananmen Square massacre weren't present due to a parade, but because the Chinese government had ordered the military to brutally slaughter citizens engaged in peaceful protest against communism, think about the implications of this. What if the tank drivers don't see some lunatic run out there and lay down? And if the tanks did stop, don't think for a second that police won't be out there in a matter of seconds to arrest anyone who does this. Of course, all of this doesn't matter to this radical leftist. In fact, Menconi later wrote that he has over 50 people signed up for this insanely stupid mission. Related: Trump blasts wasteful spending and huge $400 million GOP budget. We now have nearly 50 Americans who have signed on to lay in front of the tanks if Trump brings out a military parade. We are not an empire drifting towards extinction. Will you join us? He wrote on Twitter. However, the Twitterverse blew up after Menconi called for action. Several people called out just dangerous this idea really was. They are absolutely right. Leftists act as if they are the most intelligent people on the planet, not to mention morally superior, but when they suggest things like this, the stupidity on display is simply mind-boggling. So, get ready folks. If this military parade happens, as many think that it will, we could be in for a very interesting spectacle. Please like and share this story on Facebook and Twitter and let us know what you think of Arnold Menconi's comments. What do you think should happen to these protesters if they carry out their plan? Scroll down to comment below.